Hi, comic book fans, and welcome to another suddenlycomics.com video. And we have got another edition of the price variance with Allan and and me. And we have got a special horror edition of the show. So as usual, part one of this show is on Allan's channel. I'm going to put the link below to Allan's channel, and this time I'm going to try and we're going to try and coordinate so both videos come out at the same time. Yeah, and as usual, we've got a spec, so we're going to talk about horror. Allan's going to show us some horror comics. I've got one, and Allan's got a spec, and I've got a spec comic. And we've got a round of Guess Who. So Allan is going to try and baffle me with a comic. I hope he's not going to do the first appearance of Garfield again.
No,
right.
No Garfields.
Right, so we're going to start with Allan, who's going to show us some of his horror collection.
Okay, so where did I put it? Got this one, got that one. Okay. So I'm going to show you this one. This one's like so obvious, and I've shown it on my channel because I was so excited when I got it. This is kind of like the pinnacle of horror in my mind. Like whenever I think of horror, I think of Tales from the Crypt. To me, it's synonymous. Like so, I figured, hey, why not pick one of the best covers from Tales from the Crypt? And this to me is like one of those really awesome covers. It's got, you know, this imminent death of this woman. The axe is like flying to her head. And it's got the crypt keeper and like the old witch and the vault keeper, which are the three main narrators for Tales from the Crypt. I grew up watching horror movies in the 80s. So Tales from the Crypt, when that came out, was like, you know, one of those cool movies where I love those kind of vignettes. Those
me too.
Stories. And this is like, to me, the pinnacle of that. This is like the, you know, Tales from the Crypt. I love this comic. So,
what issue number is that?
41.
So isn't the first issue of that was that sort of always quoted as being the first horror comic?
Yeah, so there was like I think it's like 22 or something. Like it's like it's like a weird number because before it was crime.
Okay.
Crime comic, and then they switched it because they switched things, and they just kept the numbering system.
Yeah.
And they changed the name, which is weird. So it's like I forget, it was like crime and punishment or something like something.
Right, and then it changed to Tales of the Crypt issue 20.
Crime, I think it was Crime Patrol. Somebody in the comments below can tell me how wrong I was. So, but I think it's something in those era, you know, that kind of naming. But yeah, big fan of Tales from the Crypt.
That is a fantastic cover.
Yeah, it's like my favorite cover.
That's so much. Yeah, that's a great pick, and I love those. You know, somebody's there presenting it, and the
the narrator.
Yeah, and you get about 3 or 4 stories in the comic, don't you? Great.
Yeah. No,
that's
my big one to show.
Yeah, that is a big one. Are you going to get that graded at some stage? What?
The only problem is I know what the grade is going to be. It's going to be really low.
Okay.
The spine is just mangled. It got mangled within the shipping. It's just yeah.
Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
So right. So I did a couple of my horror picks over on Allan's channel, but I've got a horror pick for mine, and it's a modern comic. Okay. And this is one that I think it was produced about 3 or 4 years ago, but there's actually going to be, they've just announced there's going to be a follow-up series to this.
Okay.
And I bought the whole set of these recently because I heard the follow-up series, heard about it. And somebody said, oh, I've read the whole set of the first one, you would need to read it. It's really good. So I went out and bought the whole set of these, and I've read them, and I've really enjoyed it. And it's this comic.
Oh,
A
I have
basket.
that.
You have it. It's a basket full of heads, which is a great title.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's 7 of them, and it's a great story. It's just it's just like the story of a horror movie, basically. This girl gets her boyfriend is in the police. They get locked in a house, and the boyfriend gets kidnapped, and then the house she's in, they've got some old Viking memorabilia, and she protects herself with the axe and lops the baddie's head off, but the head stays alive.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she lops a whole lot of baddie's heads off and keeps them in a basket.
That's what I always do too. So
Yeah, well, what else? What choices have you got? So I do recommend it. I did enjoy it. It's a modern book, and there is a second series coming out called Refrigerator Full of Heads. I think it comes out in 2-3 weeks' time, and it's by the same guy, Joe Hill. Yeah.
Yeah. So I bought that way back when, like maybe last year, like beginning of last year.
Okay.
I picked up. What I did was I really liked. I'm not sure if he did Lock and Key, or he did like one of those Hill House, or one of those kind of.
He did a few. He just done a couple.
I think it was Lock. I think it was Lock and Key. One of those. I think that was the one that he did. That was kind of cool. And I thought, wow, this guy's seems to be being used for a lot of these Netflix series, right? So I was like, I'm gonna just spec on this writer. And I just picked up everything. I picked up Basketful of Heads. There was a bunch of other titles that he's
done a bunch, yeah.
Yeah, they're all great. They're all like really awesome reads. So definitely, he's a writer that writes for potential series, I think.
Yeah, I mean, this could easily be a movie. I mean, it's just the right length, and it's sort of
just seems, and it's a complete story. It's got
yeah.
Got all the right elements. So yeah, definitely a good choice. So yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show my spec. Okay, that
Please?
Since I showed on my channel, I showed a couple specs, or well, really one spec, but it had a couple of books with it. This book is kind of related to the ones that are on my channel, so you got to check out my channel too. So, but this one is I'm going to take it out of the bag because it's kind of. And this is another book I was specking on last year, because I felt like there was this real move towards horror, and not just Golden Age horror, but Bronze Age horror, and a lot of the characters were ones that I liked. I like Man-Thing. I like Morbius. I like Werewolf by Night and Ghost Rider. So it just it was a team that had all these hot characters in it. So I was like, wow, I gotta get this book. It's sort of like buying Defenders or buying X-Men or something like that. This is kind of the first Legion of Monsters, and this is Marvel Premiere number 28. Just a really great book to get the Legion of Monsters.
I've been looking for it.
I think it's one that is definitely hot. I paid pretty, I got this pretty cheap, so I'm kind of happy. Now it's kind of getting a little bit pricey.
It is, yeah.
I definitely think that this has got room to grow, though. Especially, I do feel like they're moving towards maybe doing something. They're setting up all the characters.
Yeah.
So what I would recommend is not just spec on this book, but any of the characters' books. Get their first appearances. Like Mobius is one of the, already kind of gone up to that.
He's gone a bit crazy.
Yeah, but and Ghost Rider too. So might miss the boat on all these.
I think Man-Thing is the least hot of the 4 on there.
Yeah, you can pick up Man-Thing. It's cheap.
Yeah,
he's a cheap one. He's like $100 book. Even for his first well, first appearance, maybe $300-400
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, but he's a lot cheaper than the other three on there.
Yeah, actually, I brought his first appearance with me as well, but just, I think, yeah, here. Oh, well, I'll show it. Do I show it now, or maybe I'll show it
We'll let you
here?
do another horror pick because I like it.
There.
Oh,
This
is
is
that the first appearance of Man Thing? Oh, okay.
this is first appearance of Man Thing. So yeah,
Nice.
so yeah, so that's my spec. Kind of a Marvel Premiere number 28. So definitely one that I think has a lot of potential.
I'm looking for it, Alan. It's on my list already. It's one of those I'm looking for just to find it in, the right,
Yeah,
right.
I picked it up a year ago, so I was kind of lucky on that one.
You did well. You did really well there. That was a really good pickup because it's.
I think it was under $100. So
Well, you've probably tripled your money.
yeah.
Right, my next one, it links to a couple of my previous specs in our previous shows. So I think in show one, I spec'd Madame Xanadu. And then in our second show, I spec'd Death from the Sandman.
Okay.
So we have them both together in this.
Oh, that's a good combination. Oh wow, what a great cover.
Yeah. So this is Madame Xanadu from Vertigo, issue 6, and it's a variant. It's a Frank Quietly variant cover, and it's got Death and Madame Xanadu on the cover. So this is double bubble, as far as I'm concerned. Now it's already started going up a bit. So you'll probably, if you're in the US, you'll probably end up paying $30 to $40 for this. In the UK, you're probably paying 20 to 30 pounds, but I think this has got this is going to run because that's such a great cover.
That's going to be big because they announced both have been announced in terms of shows. So
both definitely. Death and Madame Xanadu on the cover on a fairly low print comic variant cover. It's not even on Go Collect. They haven't even got this on Go Collect. So
wow.
Yeah. So that's my spec.
That's really great when it's like the problem with Go Collect or key collector key collectors. Once they're on there, it's pretty much the spec is almost gone. It's like you've already missed the boat because it's kind of everyone's going to know. Everyone's got the app. Everyone's checking that. So if you're under that radar, that's huge. Those Vertigo titles are fairly affordable.
Yeah.
And they really were low print because they were doing a lot of experimental stuff in Vertigo. It was kind of like DC's version of let's mess around and just let's try some things and do whatever, let the artists have their freedom to do whatever they want. That's why they produce so many great series.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a number of Vertigo series.
Yeah.
So yes,
wow. Very good choice. Very good choice. I'm now gonna be buying that one. Be searching for that.
Yeah, that's worth getting. And you and I both like covers, and I think it's such a nice cover.
That's a great cover. I just like the artwork. It's just
stunning. Yeah. Right. So I think, Alan, it's time for you to try and my comic book knowledge.
So I showed this one, Savage Tales, and this is everyone knows this one. I think everyone knows this one, right?
You'd have beaten me, I'm afraid.
Oh, really? You wouldn't have known this one?
I think I have seen it before, but whether I'd have dredged it out of my, old brain, I don't know.
So this is even says.
Oh, it even says there's a coming of the Man Thing. Okay.
But this is the first appearance of Man Thing.
Yeah.
Kind of a major issue. This is number 1, Savage Tales. But that's not the one I'm going to show you. Where did I put it? I got to find where I put it. I move things around and then I can't find things. Oh, here it is. I dump all my slabs on top of it. It's not the healthiest. This is Savage Tales number 2. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So it's got a bit of a horror look to it. That's why I picked it for this kind of episode, because we're kind of going with a bit of that horror theme. It's got the executioner going and Conan in the back in bondage. And then we got a girl at the bottom. Looks like she's going to get something happening to her. I'm not sure if you can see that. I'm trying to glare away.
Right. Okay. So is it a backup story? Is it somebody appearing in the main Conan story?
It's a girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And she's kind of a major character for Conan.
Well, I don't think it's Red Sonja because she appears in
No,
her
not Red
cameo
Sonja.
in.
That's a good guess, but not Red Sonja. And I'm not sure. Have you read I forgot what the series is called. Red Nails?
No, I'm not going to get it. I can't think of another a main female character in Conan, which I should be able to, because I've read some of the books. No, I'm going to have to admit defeat.
Okay, so there's a series called Red Nails.
Yeah.
And it's a modern series.
Yeah.
It's like somebody who basically took the Conan series. It is the same series, right?
Yeah.
But they wrote it without the censoring. So there's nudity, there's like big violence, there's like, and it's a worthy series of reading. I actually really enjoyed it. And they just came out with a new one, like Zombella or something. I forgot I'm trying to remember what it's called. It just came out, where they're continuing on that series. And this character that's in this book features prominently in both of those. So her name is Valeria.
Okay, I've heard of her.
So she is kind of a major character for Conan, and this is her first appearance in this book. So I thought it was cool. I had to get it because I love my female characters. I'm really into these crazy females. So just
yeah, and if she's in Conan, she's going to be scantily clad as well. So
yeah, which is always a bonus. That's the bonus point. Yeah, so she's always scantily clad. Way back when, I'm a big Dungeons and Dragons fan, and there was a comic or magazine, I should say, called Dungeon Magazine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you remember it, but
I've got quite a few copies of it.
Yeah, it's a great comic magazine. But they would always have these comics in it, where it's like a single panel kind of comic.
Yeah.
And there was one scene where it's my favorite panel of all time, and it's just this woman wearing like one of those metal bras, like where it's like barely covering anything, and it's got like a whole bunch of arrows sticking in it, and she's like, thank goodness I was wearing this really great armor. It's like it's like just like the typical scantily clad lady with this useless armor, but somehow it managed to save her life. So I think that's really cool. So that was one of my favorite panels of all time.
Right. So that's okay. So that leaves us drawn again because
we're drawn. Yeah, we're like, thank you for not knowing. You probably knew it and just were being nice to me, but
no, you got me on that one. So I won the first one, Allan won the second one, and that one's a draw because we both failed.
Don't know anything.
So we're still on 1-1. Right. Allan, have you got any more horror you want to show me?
Oh, yeah. So I'm just gonna show it like almost like rapid fire.
Yeah, go for it.
Because I brought a bunch of books. Because I was like, oh, I should pick this one, maybe pick this one, and I kept on like grabbing a bunch. So what I wanted to do is show that, like, I showed the EC one, right? Because that's to me the beginning, and I want to show kind of where we are now. So I brought a bunch of books from the modern age.
Right.
I just wanted to show a bunch that I think are brilliant and worthy of.
There's some great modern horror stuff.
Yeah, so I'm going to show a bunch. So rapid fire almost. 28 Days Later.
Yeah.
The movie. This is the movie thing.
Yeah.
You can pick this as a dollar bin book.
Yeah.
Okay, one sec. Somebody's calling me. So we've got a phone call happening at the same time. So it'll be fun. We can't edit this out. So one of my clients. Okay, I hang up on them. They'll hate me forever. So this is live shows, people. Enjoy.
There we go.
So the next one is Silver Coin. This is just a one that just came out. Kind of an interesting series where this coin has kind of some role within the series. So kind of a cool one.
I'm collecting that.
And then another one I thought was interesting. This is from DC Dark, I believe, where they kind of have their kind of horror line of comics. And this is The Conjuring the Lover. I believe, I haven't read it yet. I haven't had a chance to read this yet, but I believe it's associated to the Conjuring movies. Okay, so definitely one. And what I want to show, like I'm a big fan of like horror, like from the like Silver Age as well. And I collect Warren magazines. So I wanted to show that Dark Horse produced their own collection of these kind of like creepy, they brought back creepy. I brought back, I actually, these, I should really separate them, but I have two comics in the one.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite covers. It's just such a, you know, it's got that Nazi kind of like
Nazi lingerie. Who can resist?
Lingerie. You know, the Nazis were really into their lingerie. So I always like these kind of bad girl art horror. So
I haven't seen those two.
Cover.
I hadn't seen those creepy, the Dark Horse creepies. I'm going to have to look those up.
Brilliant covers. It's just like awesomeness. I love this kind of crazy campy stuff. So yeah, so that was one. And then this is kind of one that everybody's talking about. And I feel like it's not Something's Killing the Children. That's another horror one. But this one is just really great. I just really love this series. You know, I just love when there's that contrast. So you got this Disney style animation, kind of like, you know, typical like Lady and the Tramp, you know, just very innocent, cutesy artwork. And then really like kind of a morbid tale. You know,
like, Lady and the Tramp meets Pet Sematary. Yeah.
Basically. Yeah, that's what I was thinking the whole time, like Pet Cemetery or some kind of like some kind of like butcher.
Yeah, Lady and the Tramp meets The Shining. Yeah, it's
The Shining would be another good example. Yeah, so it's just that real contrast between two very, very different things. I think and they did a really good job. I guess that has already been you know, optioned for a series. So they're going to either make a movie or a series.
Yeah, it was optioned even before it first came out. I think.
Oh, wow.
I think by Paramount. Yeah.
Yeah, really great. Just worthy. So what I wanted to give people some hope is that the modern age actually has some really great stuff too. So yeah.
It does. There's some really good. We talked about Nice House on the Lake as well last week.
Yeah, that'd be another one. I was debating about bringing that. I was like,
We did it last week. I mean, but Stray Dogs, brilliant. I really enjoyed that. That's a really good.
And considering it's only been out maybe 6 months, like it's not been out very long. Like
No,
I think
no.
it just came out this year, right?
It's only just finished. I mean, yeah. So the issue 5 only came out.
I believe that. I think it's already like $100 or $200 book.
Yeah, I know, it's gone crazy.
Crazy. I picked up 1 through 5, and where they missed number 2. For some reason, they didn't include number 2, and so I have 1 through 5, and I paid $100 for the whole set.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and that was a few months ago, but it's really, or that was not a few months, but recently. But yeah. It's a crazy series. It's a great, really great read.
Yeah, luckily I got in. I had that on my pull list and was buying it.
Oh, nice. So you got it covered, or less than covered.
And I got it at cover, slightly less than cover, because the place I buy from, if you buy 5, they give you 1 free. So
good discount, yeah.
So yeah, and I bought a number of the variant. I bought all the AB covers.
Yeah, that's what I really like about Stray Dogs is the variants are really, they're paying some really good homage to some really, you know, like Evil Dead and Annabelle and just so many.
Poltergeist, Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. I think there's a Shining one too, right?
I think there is one. Yes, I haven't got that one. That's quite a rare variant, and it's expensive.
Yeah, yeah. I think the variants are crazy
Huge.
priced.
The one in 50s and the are just completely crazy.
I got like 2 or 3 of them, but yeah, they're hard to get. Yeah, so that's my my rapid fire comics to show.
No, that was excellent. Right. So once again, great show, and thanks to Alan for some great picks. He's always got some. I mean, Alan's got a fantastic comic collection, and you know, he always shows us something really superb. So again, Alan, thank you very much for this show, and it's still 1-1, so we've got to compete again.
I'll pick something harder. You picked something really obscure. I was like, oh, you're trying to destroy my brain.
Yeah, it was quite obscure. I'll probably do I did a hard one and an easier one. I've done a hard one. I'll probably feel sorry for you and do an easier one next time.
Feel very sorry for me, please.
Okay, thanks comic books fans. Enough said.